Welcome to Game 3 between LiquidTLO and EmpireKas. It's SeKo Starcraft having some more butterscotch coffee. WTH. It says. Inside joke, I guess. I don't really get it. Has left the game 3 times for me. Same. I guess they're having a little bit of technical issues here at the start of this game. Love this map though. This one's super fun. Let's speed it up here a little bit at the beginning. We've seen two very different games so far between TLO and Kas. One really short one, which I don't want to put any spoilers. Big problem in that you cast one game alone. I guess that they're having some problems with the observers here, lagging the game down a bit. And I'm gonna burp, so please forgive me. Oh lord. So, the first game was much more macro-oriented. The second game was about a rush. Something to be learned from both of them. Super command center first. TLO will scout this soon. Now we're going to see if he's going to go for a third base or if he's going to go for pressure. I would assume to see a gas taken or a third hatchery going down when he scouts the command center first. Oh lord. This coffee is treating me kind of bad. Either that or just pool up all of your larvae and go for a bunch of lings maybe. Doesn't seem that TLO is using what he has seen from the Terran player to adjust at all what his style is going to be at this point. 2 queens on the way, 4 lings. We don't see a Reaper coming out from Kas this game. Something I also find pretty surprising, but this is also the first game that he went CC first. So a very different style, different strategy that we see here from Kas. Getting that creep spread going early. I think that's great, but he should... I like dropping at least 1 creep tumor in the main to get down there. Particularly early on, you might want to use your queens to deflect Reapers or Hellions. And if you gotta try to move between this area, that really does create suckiness. Few lings coming in just to see what's going on. I don't think they got... I'm gonna slow down here because I'm falling behind. I don't think they got any... Looks like they picked off maybe 1 worker. It's always worth it. Overlord in a good spot. There's no... Yep, there's an Overlord over here for TLO, so we can run in and do a scout a little bit later on. It's always smart. I usually run 1 Overlord and park it on top of this here. Run 1 more over here, just to be sure. And then I do usually like having 1 that's somewhere down in this region, so I can come down and scout for this third base when the time is ready. Roaches coming out, so we'll go for a little bit of a roach push here. Not a lot of roaches. Speed behind this though, so this might be a little bit more of an all-in than what we've seen maybe normally out of some sort of roach play. Doesn't look like it's designed just to put on pressure. More designed to maybe go to try to end the game. He's pushing out this creep really fast to help his roaches get a head start. Third hatch is going down, so not an all-in, I would assume at this point. Now he did see something running by there. Wall off is finished, mine's behind it, so he should be alright in holding off this pressure. The Hellions have made it home safely. This bad boy is running in. Don't know what his plan is just yet. More roaches heading out across the map. We don't see any zerglings though. Maybe he was trying to bait out some units. We call this a retard magnet. Every now and then you're like, oh, I happen to let an Overlord by. And sometimes they run out with their army to try to snipe it and then you can take it out. Gets 1 worker there. He will get the supply depot. There isn't any tanks or anything just yet from Kas to be able to push these back really. So he's just going to have to suck it up right now. This mine is close, but he's got to be careful if he gets too close. It's not hard for TLO to just snipe it off. Uh-oh, mine. Takes out 1 roach. 2 supply depots and 1 worker for that. Not a bad trade. I'm okay with that. And he's just going to head home now. Roach speed is on the way. It appears as though Roach is going to be something he's going to use more of. Getting an Overseer because mines are just something we've seen out of Kas in every game at this point. Creep is moving along well. He doesn't have a queen here at his third base. But if we look at the economy right now, pretty even TLO invested a fair bit into putting on that pressure, and I don't necessarily think it paid off. I mean, it was a good trade. It put a bit of pressure on KAS to stay in his base. Wow, interesting. I'm not too sure what that was all about from TLO. He did take out, I think, one mine, but it cost him 2 roaches and an overlord. Maybe he knows something I don't. Very likely at this stage of my career. I think these creep tumors are in the way of his 4th base at that point. He'll be able to snipe them down with his queens. Big droning up behind this for TLO. He's moving into Spire Tech. First time we've seen him use this. Upgrades are going really well. It appears as though he's going to be going for some sort of roach Mutalisk. And that's really strange for me. I've been more expecting to see a roach swarm host, perhaps. I think that would get a lot of damage done. Particularly as he's doing all this creep up here at the front. This is a great way to do swarm hosts. They benefit from the upgrades you're getting for the roaches. And it also allows you to be able to put down spore crawlers against banshees. So this is a little surprising for me out of TLO. I don't know what his big grand plan here is. Bunch of Mutalisks coming out, 7 in total. No upgrades yet. Hive Tech has started real fast. 4th base, not taking it down here. It's a mech play style out of KAS, so the barracks is going to go scout. 3rd base is heading down. The creep won't get there in time to stop that base. But there isn't really any army from TLO, so if KAS moves out with what he has, he'll nullify that creep pretty fast. I like doing this, I think it's really cool. But I don't necessarily think that it's going to be that effective. That's a pretty big army out of KAS. He does have the supply lead with the Thors out, and the Thors obviously being upgraded with the mech. I don't think that the Muta play is a smart one. He's busted his ass on the drones, though. Got a pretty good lead, but the Terran's about where it should be at, I would think. I generally wouldn't want to be getting up anywhere over 80. Oh, excuse me, more bases. It's interesting that he hasn't gone for this one yet. Or what he's intending to do with those zerglings. Good little pile of Mutalisks, but I don't think they're going to be good enough to get any real damage done. There's already a missile turret there. Nothing there. 1 missile turret here. It's interesting to see how the pros play with very subtle amounts of missile turrets. He is going to get that missile turret at the cost of 1 Mutalisk. He's got to be very careful about the Widow Mines. They will smash his face in if he's not careful. This missile turret's not far from being done. Mech is very immobile though, with only a couple of Thors. There's not much else they can really come after to pressure these Mutalisks. It's nice to have the Overseers as part of your Mutalisk flock. That means that you've got a chance the Thors are going to hit those first instead of the Mutas, which is, I think, really smart. Also, hopefully you won't hit friggin' mines. Creep is still way out here at the front. I don't think it really served him any good. It's cool. I think it's a really smart play, but he hasn't really used it as any form of control. He hasn't used it to move units faster. This base is all but done. There's nothing that TLO is going to do. His Greater Spire's not even done yet. He's only starting to just get some corruptors now. He's quite a ways behind on supply to KAS. KAS is maxed at the 14-minute mark here. TLO still got a long way to go behind this. Thors you might not think are that great against any of the Broodlords that are coming out, but because they can upgrade into high impact payload, they actually do a pretty decent job against any of the Mutalisks that are going to come down here. Yes. Yes. Well, there's a whole pile of Broodlords coming out from TLO now. He is going to lose 2 bases though in the pursuit of this. There's only 2 Thors in here, so if he gets good position like this, he could kill off. See, there goes the high impact payload. I don't know if he's going to get any of the Broodlords though. It appears KAS is just going to go straight in to try to trade here. He's got enough army that he's just going to try to push his way through. do as much damage as he can. He won't be able to outrun the Mutalisks, but he might be able to get a ton of damage done in the meantime. He lost a lot of army. If you look at his supply, it's dropping really, really fast. What TLO does not want to do, though, is lose all of his economy. He has to pull back from this pretty fast. Oh, they're getting so close. Nope, he just manages to sneak that out. Should be reclaiming those bases soon. Behind this, Kaz got a couple more command centers happening. 2 Thors. Lots of missile turrets now. Not many behind. This is a great sweet spot in the back here for the Mutas. Lots of mines, but running in with a bunch of Banelings will probably do really well. Just one Hellbat up here, but that Hellbat will work its way through Zerglings super effectively. I love using Hellbats against Zerg. They work against everything. If they could shoot up, I would still use them against air units as well. We see, what, 6 Vikings at a time coming out from Kaz now? Because these Broodlords were used in defense and not offense, it took him a long time to cross the map. It appears he's going to try to put on some pressure now. There is 4 Thors in the back here, so these Mutas that he's going to try to use to control the Vikings, they're just going to get run down. Let's look at these Mutas. Well, the Thors look like they might be targeting the Broodlings. So the Mutas are actually lasting a long time here, even though they're really clumped up. Kaz needs to focus fire those down. Wow, that worked out really effectively for TLO. I'm quite surprised. Those 4 Thors should have been able to deal with those Mutalisks. Those Mutalisks were the big problem here, because they were able to shoot down all the Vikings, kill tons of crap on the ground, including all the workers that were coming out to do repairs. Looks like the Mutas, nope, still has the same amount of Mutas there. So I put that on Kaz a little bit. It looks like he's going to try to push out to force TLO to go back. These Corruptors are just hanging out, though. They've got nothing else better to do with their time. These Mutas are just going to pick off stuff gradually as they go past. It'll take a while. I mean, these are fairly upgraded. You have 1 armor on the Hellbats. TLO will pull back on his army in order to try to save his bases. Where did his Mutas go? Looks like he was microing against something else for a second. So these Hellbats, they should be able to get this base down. Workers did get pulled. No Queen or anything up here for transfuses. He will lose all that army. Kaz is pretty far behind right now in supply. I don't think he's really got the answer to this right now. More Thors are coming out. I don't think they should be in high impact payload. I think that's what he changed back from. He needs to focus down the Mutalisks in order to really give his Vikings a chance to fight here. Broodlord's coming in again. TLO's going to try the same trick. We'll see. Well, lifting off didn't do him much good with all these Corruptors here. They've only got +1 armor, so they don't do a ton of damage fast, but there's just a lot of them out. There go all the Thor shots. Mutalisks. It looks like they're getting hit a bit more. 1 finally falls. Good spread on the Mutas though, so they're trading very cost effectively at the moment. I think this is just too much for Kaz. He had his big moment to pull off the defense. Even the Queen's come in for transfuses. Great game out of TLO. I think Kaz had the best chance there to come and do the damage, but TLO just in the nick of time got those Broodlords out to stop that mech army. And as a Terran player, if you run into that Broodlord composition and you're not ready for it and you lose that army, it is just so hard to try to make it back. Hope you guys enjoyed game 3. It is 2-1 for TLO right now. We've got another one coming in real soon though.